Hello everyone, this is Xephyr here, and welcome to the Monster Hunter Rise digital event for January 2021. This is just going to be kind of my viewing of the digital event and going over the different content and reveals that we get to see. I'll warn you now, it's going to be choppy in the sense that I am going to be pausing and re-going quite a bit to make sure I can stop on things that I want to talk about and show off a little more clearly, because a lot of times with these videos they're very quick to show something that if you don't pause the video and really look at it, you might miss some stuff. So there's going to be a lot of pausing and a lot of talking about things, but hopefully it will be exciting and hopefully we get to learn some new cool things. So give me 1 second and we'll get started. Okay, I just wanted to verify I have it on the highest quality of video so that we can see everything as clear as possible. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, this is a familiar scene.
Let's go.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to see here is some monsters. This one looks to be... I know it's very difficult to tell because it's so shadowy, but it looks to be a new monster. I don't know what it's called. This is also a new monster. I believe it's called Tetranodon. I'm not sure on all the new monster names yet. I've seen pictures of them, but I haven't taken the time to research and learn what every new monster's name is, mainly because I'm waiting for the game to come out to do that. So I apologize for that. And I'm going to try and get that little blue square off of that thing because I had hit that setting in order to check the quality, and now that square is just annoying me. There it goes. Okay, so we just saw a bunch of new stuff. Again, the reason I'm not pausing is because I don't know what they're called, and so there's not much for me to say about them. However, this is Royal Ludroth, so we now know that Royal Ludroth, and I believe this was seen in another video before, but Royal Ludroth is now confirmed as being in Rise, so that's kind of cool. Nice early game monster. A fun thing for people who have played at least as far back as Monster Hunter Tri, where Royal Ludroth was introduced. Great Roggy. So Great Roggy is also back. This was also introduced in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I believe. No, it wasn't. It wasn't 3 Ultimate. It was Portable Third. But unless you imported Portable Third, you won't have played it because it was Japan only. So we're getting Great Roggy back, so that's nice. Another early monster, a drome to challenge. I think that was Tetranodon again. Here's another one of the new monsters. I think it's a drome. Like I said, I'm not going to pause too much on these guys because I don't have much to say about them. Bunch of new stuff, but this is exciting. Nersilla's back. Hopefully Nersilla's subspecies will be back as well. Nersilla's I don't think you can really call it a spider because I don't think it has the right number of legs to be a spider, but it looks like a spider and acts like a spider for the most part because it uses thread and stuff, but I'd have to count the legs again to be sure if it's a spider or not, but I think I remember that it's not, and I don't remember what its classification is, but it's a spider-esque monster, at least, that uses webbing and the like, and poison, or toxin, I guess. Another new one, Tetranodon again. That other thing with the slicey tail. I paused it a little too late, but obviously Tobi Kadachi is back, and has a very unfortunate fate with the monster we know is the flagship, which is Magnamalo, but we don't know much about Magnamalo yet. But Tobi Kadachi's back, so that's cool. So we are getting world monsters as well, obviously.
This is for my fellow hunters.
Yeah, another big thing, I will be turning off those callouts as soon as I can once the game releases. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to give the hunters callouts, but no, they're terrible and they sound awful. And I don't want my hunter yelling out things every time I do an action. That sounds just the worst.
Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Ryozo Tsujimoto, producer on the Monster Hunter series. Today, I'll be telling you a bit more about the upcoming Monster Hunter Rise. Hope you enjoy the show. We have a new trailer for you today.
Oh, well, that's fast.
So
Okay.
have a look.
New trailer right off the bat. Let's check it out. Ah, Antica. Okay. New region that we didn't see before. Snowy region. This is a new monster. Oh, Gathering Hub. Okay. Wait. Hang on. Let's go back real quick. Is that guy riding a Tetsukabra? Scrubbing back is tough sometimes. We'll just start here and I'll try and pause it. Oh, he is. And it has a buck tooth. That's hilarious. So, is it a Monstie or is it a baby Tetsukabra? Because it could be a Monstie, seeing as they're having some kind of intertwining, and by that it's probably just item packs or something in Monster Hunter Stories. But they did say that if you have a save file for Monster Hunter Rise, you'd get some stuff in Monster Hunter Stories. But that's kind of cool. Nice little tie-in there, sort of. I'm liking the Gathering Hub so far, though. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So this is the canteen, or the Monster Hunter Rise version of it. It looks pretty cool. We're also getting to see some Palamute armor skins here that kind of make them look like horses. So that's kind of interesting. And a little, like, nurse-esque Palico armor over there. So I wonder what monster that comes from. Based on the color scheme, I assume it's a monster that I know was confirmed, but we'll talk about when we get a little further in here. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. I don't have any complaints with this. It looks like the food is, I think it's called Dango. Is that what it's called? I don't know. It's the food in Japan that is like doughy balls on a stick that usually have some kind of filling. I think it's called Dango. I could be completely wrong. I'm probably completely wrong, honestly.
Leave all your buddy needs to me.
Okay, so it sounds like it sounds like we have to. They're going back to the old system where you buy your Palicos and then in this case also Palamutes. I hope we still get to design them. I swear they showed that there was like character creation for the Palamutes and Palicos as well, but I could be wrong about that. I do not want the generation system again, because it took forever for me to get a Palico I wanted that also looked the way I wanted. So hopefully we can pick from a variation of them, and it's the variation is their skills, and then we can completely design what they look like. I don't want to go through the nightmare that is Palico and now also Palamute RNG. Ah, training area is back. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Looks like the training dummy is a Tetranodon this time. And it looks like they even have some bowgun and bow targets set up. Oh, and also, I guess, insect glaive. There's an insect glaive back there using them as well, so that's kind of cool. All right. Good to see the training area back. That was a nice addition. So this, I assume, is similar to the, what did they call it? Niceborn and World. Basically just the Palicos that you can send off to get you materials and stuff. I just can't remember what they're called for some reason, but that's what I'm assuming this is. It looks similar to the older games, where they were the Meowster hunters. So I'm assuming it's that. Ooh, that looks like a nice locale. Okay, so this is the ice locale again. So this looks pretty... I like it. Oh, that's sick! Goss Harag. I think that's what it said. Oh, sweet! Lagombi! Lagombi's back. Okay, that's cool. This is some nice reveals. I do want to go back, though, and look at this, You know what, let's just continue for now. hopefully we'll get a chance to look at some of the stuff. But it looked like that new monster, not only could it create an ice blade on its arm, but then it could chuck it off its arm at you, and that's really sick. Can we take a moment to realize that the gun lance just used a shell attack or a wyvern fire, I'm not sure which, to launch itself at the monster? Are arts back? Was that an art, or is that just a normal move they can use? It looked pretty cool. I just hope arts aren't back. I hated arts. I hope it's just like a new move in their moveset. Okay, this is the monster that I knew was confirmed that I think that armor and Palico armor were from. It's the Kezu. But I'm not certain because I don't think the Hunter armor looked like the old school Kezu armor. It's possible they redesigned it. But the color scheme fit because it was like white with the little bit of like lipsticky red edges. As you can see, the Kezu's mouth has like, it's red, but then it almost fades off like someone put on lipstick but didn't quite do it as accurately as they should have. The new Kezu design is great. Like, this is amazing, and I love Kezu. It's so creepy, and it's such a wonderful, like, low mid-tier monster, I would say. I wouldn't call it quite mid... Well, maybe it is mid-tier. Depends on how tough they decide to make it, but it's at least an earlier wyvern that you hunt. Which is funny to say because I think in the original Monster Hunter, it was a hidden wyvern. Like, you had to do specific stuff at the end of the game to unlock it, but now it's like a mid-tier wyvern. I think you generally run into it even before Rathalos. But it's a wall for a lot of people. They're not ready for it if they're playing their first Monster Hunter because it has some moves that really throw you off. And it's such a cool monster. Great Baggy is back. Yay. Hopefully this means no Tsitsuyaku. So Great Baggy is from Monster Hunter Tri originally, I believe. And it's a drone monster, so it's a early game monster, and it puts you to sleep. And it's fun, and lots of people like it because he looks pretty cool. Oh, it looked like I made him bigger than before. Oh, they confirmed T-Grex. Okay, so T-Grex is back. We all know about T-Grex from, Iceborne. And, well, plenty of us, I'm sure, from Freedom 2 and on. But I'm glad to see T-Grex back. And it does look like they adjusted its design a little bit back towards the old designs. Because it could just be the color palette in Iceborne. But T-Grex's eyes seemed like they were made a little smaller in Iceborne, and here they're very prevalent again. So I don't know if it just happens that the color palette they used, because the colors do look a bit more vibrant on the monsters and hunters in Rise than they did in Iceborne. Iceborne was meant to look more realistic, where this is meant to look more vibrant and colorful, I guess. It could just be the color palette, but I could be right about the design a little bit, too. I don't have a preference. I think they both look amazing. The realistic colors are nice in Iceborne, but I don't have an issue with the color. What the heck is this? Give me a second, please. Okay, finish my thought. The color palettes, I don't have a preference. I like both. Obviously, I grew up with the original color palettes, the brighter colors and designs of Monster Hunter, but I really enjoyed what World and Iceborne did. I liked the graphical upgrade. I know a lot of people didn't like what they thought was washed out. I didn't think it was washed out. I think the realistic look I thought was nice and a good evolution for the series, but I don't think it was necessary. So going back to the older, more vibrant colors doesn't bother me, and I think it's fine. I honestly, I'm being serious. I don't have a preference. Neither I think is better or worse. They're just different styles. This, however, I don't know how I feel about. It's going to depend on what it is. We all know, if you watched any of my Monster Hunter videos, I hate the Clutch Claw. I think that it was the one thing in Iceborne that I did not like. And maybe I could come up with some others if I really thought about it, but I know when I think Iceborne and someone asks, what do you not like about Iceborne? The first thing that pops into my head is Clutch Claw. It scares me that there is a thing called Wyvern Riding. What kind of, one of the biggest things I always hear about complaints with Iceborne and even World is that hunters were made too powerful. You're not telling me I can ride the Wyvern, not just mount it. And that's important to realize. This is called Wyvern Riding, which means it's not just mounting, which was just called mounting. And they're clearly doing something different with the wirebug threads. Let's see what this is. I have great fear for this. So a couple of things here. Let's scrub back for a moment so I can talk about the exciting part, and then we'll talk about the not so exciting part. Exciting part. That is a Barioth. I tried to circle it with my mouse. You can't see my mouse. That's a Barioth. So Barioth is now confirmed. Awesome. I like Barioth. I'm happy for Barioth to be back. Downside. They're controlling the monster. They made it dodge an attack and then attack with one of T-Grex's attacks. This is fearful. Like I said, I didn't like Clutch Claw because it was too powerful in the idea that, well, I guess it's not so much it was too powerful. The game was built too much around it. Health and hit zones were developed around the idea of knocking monsters into walls and wounding parts. If you can now control monsters and use them to fight other monsters, what kind of balance are they going to have to put in place to make that not make you too OP? This also, to me, is not what Monster Hunter really is supposed to be about. And I want to make it perfectly clear that I like when the Monster Hunter team tries new things. I am now not outright saying this is bad. What I am saying is that I fear for what it could possibly mean for the difficulty and the way hunts work. One of the biggest problems with Iceborne was the Clutch Claw because you spent a lot of time spamming it, trying to get onto the head to do wall bounces or to wound parts, and it really took away from how you should act, like how you normally hunt. And I spent a lot of time trying to not use the Clutch Claw, and while you totally could play the game without using it that much, it was incredibly difficult to get good times. And it was always faster and better to use it, even if it annoyed the heck out of you. And then they added Clutch Claw Boost, and it was slightly better because at least then light weapons could tenderize with one hit. Heavy weapons could get their slinger ammo in one hit, whereas, honestly, that part was less worthwhile. But being able to wound parts with one hit was very good, but still brought up the problem that all of the balance, all of the hit zones were developed around wounding parts. And it just felt off, especially with how inaccurate the Clutch Claw was. Now, I will say, because you could wound in one, or you could wound in one hit after Clutch Claw Boost was added. That did help with the fact that if you missed the head when you were aiming for it, at least it wasn't wasted because you could just wound a part. But still, it just, like, that was problematic. And this seems like the same idea. You are now going to take time where you're not hunting the monster because you're riding it and guiding it around. Now, the one thing I will say, obviously, they're hunting the Barioth while riding the T-Grex, so obviously the T-Grex is probably not the hunt target, because what good is it to use a T-Grex to fight a Barioth if you're trying to defeat the T-Grex? So it's kind of a cool idea that, like, if another monster wanders into the area, you can use it as a weapon. And I'm sure there's a time, like a period, like you maybe, like, obviously you want to dodge hits, so probably if you get hit, you get knocked off. Or maybe you can only ride for a certain amount of time or something. So that's kind of a cool idea, because maybe riding the monster you're actually trying to hunt is worthless. Maybe you can't do anything to it. And that could kind of make it interesting, but then it kind of makes the thing pointless if, like, say you're hunting a Barioth and there's not a T-Grex in the area. Maybe there's only like a Great Baggy or an Argyros, and that might not be quite as useful. So I don't know. It's interesting. We'll have to see what happens with it. I'll try and be cautiously optimistic, but I think I'm worried. As I say, I'm trying to try and be cautiously optimistic. They show that not only can you wall bounce it once, you can wall bounce it at least twice while you're riding it. So everything I just said goes out the window. You can use it on a monster that you're hunting, and you can even wall bounce it multiple times. Now, the one thing I will say is there's no damage numbers there. So it's possible the wall bounce doesn't do damage and is instead used as a means to just knock the monster down, and you have to do multiple wall bounces to be successful. If that's the case, that might not be so bad. That could honestly be kind of cool, that you can maybe mount a non-target monster to do some damage to the target monster, or you can mount the target monster and knock it into a wall just to knock it down, but it doesn't do any damage. That could be pretty balanced. That could be a nice, fun mechanic. We'll have to see. Yeah, see, it got knocked down. Okay, cool. Is that Zinogre armor? Is he wearing Zinogre armor? No, it's not. It's different. Okay. I just saw the green. No. That is, isn't it? I think they just confirmed Zinogre. I'm pretty certain that is Zinogre armor. Because you can see the little spikes on the wrist. And it's got like the fur on the shoulders and stuff. And it's even got the little waist belt. I'm pretty certain that's Zinogre armor. So that's nice. I figured Zinogre would be in just because Magnamalo seems to use the Zinogre skeleton. But we never had confirmation. But this seems pretty concrete. Zinogre's in the game. That, or they're going to have a trade system where you can trade parts for parts of monsters that aren't in the game, similar to 4 Ultimate, which, I mean, that would be fine too. Oh. Oh. So if you didn't see that, that was just a turf war between a Rathalos and a Magnamalo, and the Magnamalo literally tried to slam the Rathalos into the hunter. That's really cool. That kind of fixes the turf war problem. And what I mean by that is turf wars were like free damage. You could try and track a monster into another monster to get free damage, or if a monster wandered in, you almost always would get free damage from the turf war. Now, you're probably still getting the free damage, but unlike before where like the turf wars would barely... I don't remember if they could even hurt you, honestly. It's been a bit since I've played Iceborne. I need to get back into it. But even if they could hurt you with the turf war, it was like minimal. This looks like that would hurt. So it looks like you actively need to avoid the turf wars now, which could be really, really awesome.
Come on! How do you like me now?
Okay, riding Rathalos, that's cool. Seems the turf war caused the ability to do the Wyvern Riding. Fine. Get rid of the callouts. They're so bad. Like, that voice... Not only was the wording terrible and super cringe, but the voice acting is awful. Like, straight awful. And I mean, I kind of feel bad saying that because, you know, there's someone who worked hard, and I'll give them that, you know. Like, it's their job. They probably worked hard. They're probably asked to do a higher pitch voice or something, but it sounds bad. Like, it doesn't sound good. See, and this is where things get problematic. We're seeing, look how many hunters and pets, and now you're able to ride the monster. This is some crazy power creep here. Like, you're going to use a Rathalos to attack another monster while you also have other hunters and Palicos and Palamutes there to also hunt the monster. Holy crap. I kind of worry about what they're going to do with health and defense to balance this. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to try and be cautiously optimistic, but my concerns are there. I know what this means. Yay! So this has many implications. 1, Mizutsune's in. So that's great. Mizutsune is probably my favorite of the Fated 4. I think it's a lot of people's favorite of the Fated 4. I know a lot of people like Glavenus too. I also like Glavenus, even though I'm terrible at fighting it. But, so 1, Mizutsune has been confirmed in the game. 2, that means the other Fated 4 could also be in the game. We might see Glavenus, Astalos, and, I can't remember the name of the... It's a mammoth, but I can't remember what it's called because it was my least favorite, and I almost never hunted it. Whatever, the mammoth monster. So they could all potentially be in. It could just be Mizutsune, whatever. And the third implication, Mizutsune is a Leviathan, something that didn't make it into World and Iceborne because the skeleton didn't work properly with the terrain. This means that it works with the terrain in Rise, which means we could have other Leviathans like Legiacruz or Agnactor. So that's awesome. Excited for that. Bubbles and soap. And it sounds just so cute when it's yawning. Alright, so obviously March 26th is release date.
Hope you enjoyed this new trailer.
For the most part, I did.
Now let's go into a bit more detail about the things we just showed off. Take it away.
Okay, probably didn't need to pause through all that then. Oops. Okay, the locales. So the only thing I showed off is the 1.
Let's start with the locales. We just showed off the Frost Island.
I didn't notice this when they first showed it, but if you look at the right part of that little island there that's sitting in the middle, there's a Dragonator stabbed into it. Like, it's got a giant Dragonator just slammed into it. That's kind of cool. I like that. The shape is kind of making me think the shape is significant, of like the little island here, but I can't put my finger on it. But that's sick. I like this. Oh, I like this. This looks cool. Like, one of the reasons I really enjoyed Iceborne was the Tundra map, the Hoarfrost Reach. This one looks really good as well. I know there's a lot of people who don't like how muted the colors look in this game. There's going to be plenty of locales. I am sure there are going to be bright locales, but part of the reason I like the 2 locales they've shown so far in their muted colors is because it shows how vibrant all the other colors are on the weapons and the armor and the hunter and the palamute and the palico. It makes them stand out a lot. And also, you know, if you're in a snowy area and there's clouds and stuff, it's going to look muted. That's fine. I think this looks pretty good. I will say I miss the snow physics from Iceborne, but I understand why they're not here.
This used to be a nest of huge dragons a long time ago.
That explains
and
the
it is
Dragonator.
said many heroes came here to try and slay them, to no avail.
Oh, they failed? That's
It has
unfortunate.
kind of a creepy atmosphere.
Oh, holy crap. So he said it's kind of a creepy atmosphere, and I see why. This is a broken... It's a ship that's stuck here covered in icicles with a Dragonator coming out. It is creepy. Like, this is an area where clearly hunters of a previous age or something came here to try and hunt the monsters, and they had a terrible time. And it did not go over well, clearly, because their boats and stuff are just stuck with Dragonators launched that never got retracted. I kind of find that really cool.
There's a large variety of endemic life in each locale. They can help you out in various ways, so make sure to use them on your hunts.
So I feel a lot of positive and negative about the endemic life thing. So they keep talking about how much endemic life there is and how many bonuses, like how they can give bonuses and stuff. It sounds like... I don't want to sound negative, but I'm worried about... I also don't want to sound elitist here. It's tough to word this without sounding like a dick, but I do worry about the difficulty of the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for Monster Hunter to be this super difficult, overwhelming challenge. But I don't want it to be trivialized either, and they keep talking about endemic life and how much of it there is and all these bonuses you can get for them. Like, I believe they talked about one giving you, like, an attack boost, and there's one that gives you a defense boost similar to armor drugs and or armor skins and demon drugs. And now, you know, we can ride the wyverns and use them as weapons or just smash them into walls to knock them down. And it just concerns me that we're going to run into the same problem that people saw before with World and Iceborne, where the hunters get too many things to make them powerful, and it makes the monsters seem a lot less threatening. And again, I could be completely wrong. I'm just giving how this is being portrayed to me. I don't need a ton of things around the map that I can use to make me stronger, because I already, you know, previous monster hunters, the older ones, didn't have that, and you could still succeed. So now when they add what you already had where you could succeed on top of everything, it starts to get harder and harder to not succeed, which makes success seem a little less exciting, I guess. It just trivializes it a bit. And again, all of this is just speculation. I could be completely wrong, and they could have balanced it better. And it could be just fine, but I just worry about all of the things that they're giving us, because it's cool that they're trying new things, but when you're trying new things on top of things that already worked, you kind of start to snowball into a point where you're a little too strong. Will I have fun? Absolutely. I want to make that clear. It's Monster Hunter. The base bones are still there. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I do like to have some challenge there. You know, one of the reasons that Fatalis was so cool in Iceborne is because of how difficult it was. So I do want challenge there, and I don't want it to be trivialized too much. So we'll see what happens. I still have optimism, and I know that the Monster Hunter devs are really good at their jobs, so I'm sure there will still be challenge. I'm sure it'll still be a ton of fun. I don't want too much that I have to actively tell myself, ignore some of those things to make it a little harder on yourself. Or if I don't avoid it, it's too easy, you know? I don't know. It's a hard balance there. Did that thing just knock it over with one shot? Antica!
Let's have a look at the monsters that live here.
All right, cool. They're starting with this thing.
Gos Harag.
Oh, it's Gos Harag.
New monsters.
Not Horag. That's so cool. I think that is awesome. That it just, like, grows this ice sword on its arm.
Gos Harag is a creature that lives in icy regions, roaming the snowy fields for prey.
Oh, that's so sick.
It's a fanged beast that attacks hunters using blades of ice that it creates with its own breath.
That's really cool. That's such a good concept. And it got stuck in the ground. It slammed its sword down and it got stuck. Oh, that was sweet too. Okay.
Next up is the flying wyvern, Barioth.
I love that they're jumping to Barioth next when there were like 4 other monsters that they showed in the trailer, and this thing was just in the background, and they're like, I'm gonna show Barioth next. Just let everyone know who maybe missed it that it's there. I enjoy Barioth, so that's cool. I hope we get Frostfang as well.
It is a fearsome monster with huge fangs and sharp spikes. The spikes on...
Oh, also, I guess I'm not going to go back to look, but just because it's a longsword and equipment, this is the great baggy equipment that the hunter is using right now. The longsword and the armor.
Its front paws and tail are actually scales that it uses to freely move around on icy surfaces.
It's looking good. Looks like Barioth. I think that against the Gos Harag, it looked like the hunter was using the Magna Malo set and the Magna Malo Charge Blade. I think. Could be wrong. Seeing as I don't know exactly what Magna Malo equipment looks like. It's a guess. Ah, Kazoo.
Next is a flying wyvern, Kazoo.
It looks so cool now. I love Kazoo. Okay, so what are we using here? It's hard to tell. That can't be.
This is a creep.
Oh, okay. So the hunter that's using the, I assume, switch axe down there, though I guess it could be charge blade again, looks to be using the Lagombi equipment, because I think I see the little rabbit ear hood. I can't tell what the bow user is using, though. So that could be new armor. Or I just don't
Monster
recognize
that
it.
mainly lives in dark places like caves. Be careful of the electricity it releases from its body and its long, twisty neck.
Oh, I love Kazu. It's so cool and creepy.
Now let's
Great
look
Baggy.
at the bird wyvern, Great Baggy. It is characterized by its blue
Kuliaku's confirmed. That's Kuliaku armor and a Kuliaku insect glaive.
white skin color and the large protruding crest.
See if I get a
on
better
its
look.
head. It catches prey by dousing them with a fluid
Oh yeah, that's the Kuliaku insect glaive and armor. Okay, so Kuliaku's confirmed as well.
that knocks them unconscious, so you'll need to protect yourself against the sleep status effect.
Lagombi.
Next up is the fanged beast, Lagombi.
Alright, that looks like Magnamalo equipment again.
It
Comes
uses
the gun
its belly
lance.
to glide around the snow like a sled, so you'll need to be quick on your toes to deal with it.
So I've noticed that they don't seem to have scout flies back, but items you can pick up or harvest or whatever glow like they're scout flies. So I do wonder if scout flies are back and I'm just not seeing them, or if they just decided to have things glow when you're near them if you can harvest them, just so you can see them. T-Grex.
And now we move on to the flying wyvern, T-Grex.
Oh, that's Lagombi armor. Okay.
This is an extremely aggressive monster that uses its well-developed limbs to rush at its prey, dealing heavy damage with its claws and jaw.
Looks so good. So I do want to say something, especially since I'm mentioning that it looks good. Graphically, obviously, it's a downgrade from World and Iceborne. That was to be expected with the Switch. However, it's a massive upgrade from any Monster Hunter that came before World and Iceborne. Like, even comparing it to Generations Ultimate, this looks smooth, clean, and beautiful. And that's fine. I'm not a big enough graphics snob to think that I needed Iceborne graphics again, or I wouldn't enjoy Monster Hunter. Shoot, they could have had graphics like Generations Ultimate, and I would have been fine. I do prefer it, obviously, looking better. That's always a good thing, but it looks clean. I like it. It's graphics are important, but only to the point that they have to look, I guess, modern. Obviously, if this looked like Freedom Unite, I wouldn't be as happy. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't enjoy the game, but I'd definitely give it, cut marks, because it would look too retro for a game that should be current. And sometimes games look retro on purpose, but obviously that's not the goal here with Monster Hunter. So the fact that it looks modern is good enough. Like, it doesn't have to be top-of-the-line amazing graphics. As long as they're modern and clean, that I'm happy with that. So this is very nice. I'm stoked with how this looks.
Let's look at some monsters from other locales. First up is the Leviathan Mizutsune, a very uniquely evolved creature.
I love this thing. Alright, what armor are they using against this? It looks like Kuliaku again.
It secretes a special fluid that it can turn into bubbles by rubbing it against its body hair.
Yay, bubbles.
These bubbles will greatly hinder your movement.
Ah, yes. Okay, good. They showed it. So this is something that's fun. Mizutsune, yes, shoots out these bubbles that give you the bubble status and make you slip around and stuff, but the green ones, if I remember correctly, heal you, which is just such a cool thing that it's like, okay, there's all these ones that cause you havoc, but at the same time, it can shoot out ones that can also help you. It's a ton of fun.
And here's the flagship monster of this game, Magnamalo.
Oh yeah, that's Zinogre armor. Come on. All right, so Zinogre's in. So one of the cool things with Magnamalo is it looks like, well, I guess what I would think an Oni would look like in a sense. Like, I love the way they did the bone structure and the coloring and everything. It makes it look otherworldly while still looking like a Monster Hunter monster.
Magnamalo's body is enveloped by a carapace hard as armor, and it attacks hunters with its tail and a type of gas that looks like hellfire.
It's gotta be Zinogre armor. I even see the little ears. It's Zinogre armor. I'm calling it now. Zinogre's in. And if I'm wrong, oh well, I'm wrong. But I'm pretty certain that's Zinogre armor and Zinogre's in. Alright, let's learn about Wyvern Riding.
Once you've met the unlock requirements, you'll be able to use your wirebug to bind monsters to use a feature called Wyvern Riding. This lets you use Iron Silk to control wild monsters.
Wow,
You can
pretty
even
great
use
degree.
this to make a monster attack other monsters.
So we've seen multiple T-Grex attacks that you can force it to use. Because it used the rock shot thingy, and it also used the little spin. And then obviously we saw it do a sidestep. So that seems like a lot of control. I really hope there's some good balance there.
Now let's have a look at your base, where you'll get to meet a bunch of colorful characters who will help make your hunting life a lot more interesting. This is Fugen, the village elder.
They have actual names.
He is deeply trusted and respected by the villagers.
They're not called
and he's
just
a
like
certified
commander or
longsword
field team
wielder
leader.
as well.
Yeah, they've got actual names. Oh, thank goodness. That's kind of nice. I like
These
that
are the
change.
village quest and hub quest
Never
maidens,
understood why
Kinoa and
the
Minato.
characters in Iceborne and World didn't
They are
have
Wyvern
actual
twins,
names.
beloved throughout the village. Their songs bring peace to the villagers' hearts, and Minato has even taken up painting recently. This is Yomogi, a cheerful young girl who runs the local tea shop. This is Guildmaster Hojo.
I like the
oldest
music.
man in the village and manager
That was
of
mean.
all things quest related.
He's teasing
He
his
draws all the
Tetsukabra.
quest notices that go up on the quest board.
He's got a Rathalos picture. Oh yeah, Zinogre's confirmed. Did you
This
see that
is
mask?
Master Utsushi,
Come on.
leader of the hunters in the village.
This
And
kid is like maximum
Iori, the
wholesome.
buddy handler.
He's cuddling the cats
He is a
and the
kind
dogs.
and pure-hearted young boy who loves animals. This is Feline Chief Kogarashi. He's in charge of deploying the Meow.
I was right. Okay, cool. They're just called Meowcenaries now instead of Meowster Hunters.
And this is Rondine, the trader. She came on a ship from a faraway country.
Why does she look like the serious handler? That'd be kind of cool. Her hair's clearly different, but honestly, I think her face is clearly different. But the colors, and it just seems similar. I don't know. It's probably just me, but it seems similar.
To make trade with the village. Your base contains some facilities to make your hunting life more interesting. This is the training area where you can try out
Looked like it
weapon
had
actions
cannons
by
and
attacking
ballistas
a
this
variety
time.
of objects. You can even change the behavior of some of these objects. With the help of all the villagers, you will have to take on the Rampage. We'll have more to share on the Rampage
I forgot
in
about
the future.
that. Okay, so I don't know how there's like no information about the Rampage really yet, but I do believe they confirmed it's fighting multiple monsters at once when they attack your village, which is kind of a cool concept because in older Monster Hunters there were, I mean, they even kind of did it in Iceborne with Velkhana attacking the Celiana supply cache. But, like, when you fought Shengao Ren and Laoshan Lung, they were attacking facilities. So, like, Laoshan Lung was running and was going to be going near... what was it? Some mountain base. And so you were trying to repel it. Shengao Ren was directly attacking Dundorma, the city of Dundorma. So this is kind of a fun concept that's pulled from that, but instead of being these giant monsters, it's just normal monsters that clearly have something going on. And I'm sure it's not actually related to Magna Malo. Like, almost always the Monster Hunter story is you think it's one monster, and that's the flagship, and then it ends up being something else, similar to how we thought Velkhana was a problem, but it was really... oh, crap, I can't remember what its name is. Why? My brain's having issues today. But the Everworm that I can't remember the actual name of. But in any case, this is where I guess the Wyvern Riding could come in handy. If you have to fight, like, I guess if this picture shows us anything, 5 monsters at once, being able to jump on one and smash it into some of the others, or jump on one and use it to fight some of the others, could actually be really handy. So... I could find a good use for Wyvern Riding in that. It just, I hope it is still balanced when you don't have 5 monsters to fight at once.
Let's do a quick recap of the product information for Monster Hunter Rise. The release date is March 26th, 2021.
Not that far off, but still far off.
There will be a standard edition and a deluxe edition that contains a set of recommended DLC. Supply is limited, but there will be some exclusive bonuses like layered armor for your Palamute and Palico, and a novice talisman that'll help out during the early stages of the game. Make sure to pre-order so you don't miss out.
So in case you missed it, there's the standard edition that has pre-order content, the deluxe edition that has obviously the base game plus a deluxe pack that has gestures and stuff in it, and you can still get the pre-order bonus obviously for that. And now they're showing that there's going to be 3 Amiibos as well, and the Amiibos, I think they said you can get like daily items from them, but the first time you use each of them, you also unlock layered armor, and they're showing it here. I just noticed. So there's a Palamute layered armor if you have the Palamute Amiibo, Palico layered armor if you have the Palico Amiibo, and then some Hunter layered armors if you have the Magna Malo. Now, the Magna Malo Amiibo comes with the Collector's Edition, so that's kind of cool, and I think the Collector's Edition also comes with the Deluxe Pack. I ended up getting the Collector's Edition, that's why I pre-ordered. So I believe I should be getting the Magna Malo Amiibo, the deluxe version of the game, as well as the pre-order stuff. So I should have everything, because I also should be getting the Palamute and Palico Amiibos, I hope. If not, it's not the end of the world. But I would like them, because I like to have all the content for Monster Hunter games.
We will also release 3 Amiibo on the same day as the game. I'm gonna hand the mic back to the dev team, because they're anxious to tell you about the demo.
Yay, demo.
Hope you enjoyed that bevy of new information. I'd like to talk about the demo now, and with me here is Yasunori Ichinose, the director of the game.
Hello everyone, I'm Yasunori Ichinose, the director on Monster Hunter Rise. It's nice to be here. This demo has 4 quest types available.
4? Oh, 2 of them are tutorials. I'm just gonna let him keep talking.
Beginner quest and intermediate quest.
Wait. Wait. What? Why is one of the monsters we're fighting in the demo Mizutsune? That seems, okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They usually give us one monster that's new, and it's usually a low-end one, and then one monster that's a return, and it's an intermediate, as they say, so I guess it makes sense. But it just seems like an odd choice to me to pick Mizutsune of all the things they've shown as our intermediate monster for the demo, but that's kind of sick.
Basic training quest and a Wyvern Riding training quest, which will help you get used to the new Wyvern Riding feature.
That's nice.
Of course, all 14 weapon types are playable.
Hang on. I think they once again just confirmed Zinogre because I've gotta see that. No, it's not Zinogre. I was completely wrong. I'm 100% wrong. That is something else. It's just very similar to Zinogre. The guy still got a Zinogre mask. I'm still saying Zinogre's going to be in the game, but that armor set has a very similar color, a very similar design to Zinogre, but it is different. Okay, so I've been wrong this entire time. That is not a confirmed Zinogre.
Of course,
I still think he's in the game,
weapon
though.
Types are playable. The beginner quest and the intermediate quest can of course be played solo, but they are also available in local co-op and online co-op.
Cool.
For this demo, you'll get to explore the shrine ruins.
Cool.
This is a great locale for learning about the wire bug and the new stat-boosting endemic life featured in this game.
Alright. Ooh, flash bugs.
The beginner quest features Great Izuchi,
Royal Ludroth armor.
while the intermediate quest has you take on Mizutsune, which we revealed today. Of course, you'll be able to take a Palamute and or Palico with you so you can experience riding a canine and receiving various kinds of support from your buddies.
Sweet.
The basic training quest will teach you how to use the wire bug.
That guy's wearing Zinogre armor. He's got to be in the game. Why would they give an NPC Zinogre armor and then not put the monster in the game? So I know it's not confirmed because I was wrong. The hunter wasn't wearing Zinogre armor. But an NPC's got it. So come on. It's in the game. It's got to be. I'm going to be really, really upset when I'm wrong.
And the Wyvern Riding training quest will let you try out the new Wyvern Riding feature. Wyvern Riding is a new...
Okay, there's clearly a timer on it, so you do have a limited time. Fair enough.
System that allows you to control monsters for a while. By dealing enough damage through aerial attacks or silkbind attacks using the wire bug.
This is replacing mounting, isn't it? By dealing enough damage through aerial attacks, which used to get you a mount. Now it gets you Wyvern Riding. Okay, this actually makes me feel better about this. So, the other problem that with Clutch Claw is you already had mounts to knock a monster down. Then they added, being the important word, Clutch Claw, which let you do wall bounces to do damage and knock the monster down. So it was an addition. This is a replacement. So yes, it has some more features than mounts, but we know the Clutch Claw's not coming back. And now it seems mounting's been replaced, so the only way to knock a monster down is by beating the crud out of it and knocking it down normally, or using this Wyvern Riding, it seems. So that's a bit better. Part of my worry was that we were going to have mounting plus Wyvern Riding. Now we know, no, we have Wyvern Riding. Mounting is out. That's no longer an option. At least that's my assumption here. I don't know how you could possibly have mounting from aerial attacks and then also possibly knock the monster into the ability to do Wyvern Riding. So it seems this is just the new mount mechanic. I can get on board with that.
Or by using Turf Wars
Oh,
or
sweet.
Endemic Life to your
You're seeing
advantage.
damage this time. Not much.
While controlling wild
but it is in
monsters,
Argyros.
you can move around and attack, and you can even...
Okay, so the wall slam does do damage, so what I thought earlier is out the window. While bouncing does do damage. However, that doesn't seem like a lot, so it does seem they put it in, they let you do it multiple times, and it does lead to a monster knockdown, but it seems like they really toned down how much damage it deals. So that's okay. So it does look like they really did balance this well. They decided that, here's all my assumptions here. Mounting's gone, and now you just have Wyvern Riding. You can use the monster to fight other monsters, or smash it into a wall to do some damage and knock it down. And, you know, the damage is definitely minimal compared to what wall bounces used to do, because wall bounces were like 8 to 10% of the monster's health. This seems like it does maybe a couple hits worth of damage, because the Argyros was hitting another Argyros for like 13, and this does 48, so it's not even 4 times what the Argyros can do with a hit. So that seems like they took balancing into consideration. So I'm a lot more on board with this feature now. It does not concern me nearly as much.
And slam them into walls. So this is definitely something you'll want to check out.
That Argyros did not stay down for very long either, so it also seems like they decided that, okay, you're doing damage and you're knocking it down, but it's not going to stay down for long. So that's... I think they really thought this through. Like I said, the developers for Monster Hunter over at Capcom, they are smart people. They think these things through, and I think they really thought this through, and this could be a very, very cool feature and a very fun feature. I'm still going to have my reservations about it until I've got my hands on it. But even saying that, I do feel better about it now than I did when they first showed it at the beginning of this.
That's all for the demo. The demo will be released on the date...
Oh, today. Okay, so they're not telling us when today, but it says it's available today until February 1st. At midnight Pacific time. Okay. That's fine. It seems like a short time to be able to play the demo when the game doesn't come out until March, but still, that's cool. Maybe there'll be a second demo or something. They did that with World, didn't they? Because you initially could hunt some monsters, and then they did a second demo that included Nergigante. So maybe they're doing that again.
Shown on screen. It will only be available for a limited time, so we hope you download it and give it a try.
I don't understand why limiting the time for demo,
After
though. It
this
seems weird.
show, we will release some new videos that'll teach you about the wire bug and Wyvern Riding.
I'm not going to watch those or put them on the channel because we'll check out those features in the demo. So I'm not going to worry about watching their stuff. We'll learn it together from scratch.
Check those out if you want to see these new features in action. Thank you for joining us today. We will have more to share with you on Monster Hunter Rise in the future, so stay tuned.
Whatever. Okay. So, that's a lot of exciting news. A lot to kind of unpack. We kind of did that as we went through, but I think it will be best to kind of see how I feel once I can get my hands on the demo. I still am concerned about how the wire bug is going to impact the movesets. It could be in a good way, it could be in a bad way. I'm not sure. I know a lot of people didn't like the initial implementation of Foresight Slash for Longsword in World, and they did kind of fix that in Iceborne, but then it got annoying because having to have enough spirit gauge before using Foresight could sometimes kind of cause problems, at least for me, because I'd go to do it, and then I'd be like, oh crap, I didn't have enough, so it didn't work, and it just... But I don't know how exactly it's going to be implemented. I know that, so like the Spirit Helmbreaker is no longer the Spirit Helmbreaker. It's now part of the Wirebug moveset. But I believe Foresight Slash is still there. And I think they added a new Wirebug move that is like, I think it was called Critical Juncture in Generations, where you basically set up like some wirebug threads, and then if a monster hits them while they're there, you do like a counterattack. I think I saw something like that. So a lot of my feelings are, until I've played the demo and seen the moves and seen how things work, are kind of hard to really justify. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I really like that they showed a little bit more of that Wyvern Riding, and it kind of put me more at ease at seeing that it didn't do a ton of damage when you wallbang. It doesn't seem like the monster stays down very long after that. It seems like it replaces mounting, so instead of being an addition, it's a replacement, so that kind of helps with the power creep. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It looks good. I mean, there are a lot of other things to kind of investigate, like, I think I read somewhere that you can still heal while moving, and I think I even read that they made it even more powerful than World and Iceborne, because now I think what it was is when you start drinking a potion, you immediately get a small amount of instant health, and then you continue getting the rest of the health as you drink the potion, which, for anyone that didn't like that you could move and heal in Iceborne, is going to hate that even more, because now it's even stronger because you get that initial boost of health. And for those who don't know, in older Monster Hunters, when you went to use a potion, your character would plant their feet in the ground, use the potion. The moment that the potion was used, you got the full amount of health, and then you flexed, and then you could keep hunting. And the whole idea behind it was that they wanted it to take a certain amount of time to use a potion to kind of balance the risk and reward of using said potion. But the fact that you got the health as soon as the potion was used up meant you couldn't waste a potion, other than if you got hit and lost the health, you just healed. But in World and Iceborne, because you don't get the health instantly, if you start using a potion and then get hit, the potion's lost. Like, it's already been used, so you lose the potion, but then you didn't even get the health. And so people didn't like that you could move while healing, because they believed it hurt the risk and reward. I disagree with that, but people also complained that you could waste potions, which again I disagree with. I actually like that feature. So now the fact that not only can you move, but now you also, it's even stronger because you get health right away. I'm interested to see what people will say about that. For me, I don't really care as long as it's balanced. I liked the Iceborne system. I liked being able to move while drinking a potion because monsters were a lot more dynamic. You couldn't just like run behind a monster and use a potion because you knew it was going to have to do 2 90-degree turns to get to face you before it could attack. Instead, like Brachydios is just going to throw a punch and completely turn around and punch you in the face. So being able to move and avoid attacks while healing was kind of important. So I liked that system. Getting a bit of initial health, I don't care. I don't think it's going to hurt that much with the difficulty or the balance. We'll see. Maybe the potions don't heal as much anymore. Maybe they made it so you get that initial burst, but the full heal is less than what we got in Iceborne. Won't know. So like I said, I'm not going to know exactly how I feel about things until we've played the demo, and then even still the full game, because they could still make changes up until release. But so far, it's looking good. I'm excited. I think it's pretty. I like the color palette. I like, so far, the monsters they've shown that are being put in the game. The Wyvern Riding, when I initially saw it, I thought, oh crap, this is going to be OP. I don't like this. And then when I saw that it seems to be replacing mounting, and it's not nearly as powerful as Clutch Claw wallbangs were, and that you can't, the wounding mechanic seems to be completely gone, I think it seems fine. I'm actually kind of excited about it now. So we'll see. We'll have to check it out. So before I ramble too much more, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. You can also subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell icon to get email updates when I upload new videos. And of course, you can leave any comments or suggestions in the area below the video. I've also left my Twitch and Twitter links in the description. That way you can check out those platforms if interested. However, that is all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. And as usual, this is Xephyr, signing out.